What's up, everyone? We're here with Sam Willoughby. We're over at the Coach G house today. Sam came by to visit, and we're just hanging out. And we just want to go live for about 20 minutes, so we want to go ahead and answer any questions that you guys may have for us as it pertains to BMX racing and training or performance. Sam, what's new, man?
I'm just down here visiting you. Shooting a little video as well that I'll sure we'll hear about later on. But yeah, just doing it.
Cool, man. How's coaching going?
It's going good. I've got a good little group of guys and girls. So with Elise and Lauren, Anthony Dean's here now, so I'm working with him full time, which is a fun project.
Fun.
And then Sean Gain.
Sean Gain, yeah.
So it's been a fun little group. We're all together every day, and I enjoy it. It keeps my competitive juices flowing.
Yeah, hell yeah. Gives you something to do, and you're sharing all this knowledge and wisdom and experience to these guys, which is totally invaluable, and I'm sure they appreciate it. So that's great.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, I've kind of definitely went through my career and made plenty of mistakes and did some things right as well. So I feel like I've got quite a bit of a good pool of knowledge to draw from and try to help where I can.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Anyways, we got a couple questions coming in. We got people rolling in here already. Please forgive us. My Wi-Fi is kind of funny, so I'm having a hard time getting to these questions. But it said here, flats or clipless?
For what? For racing?
I don't know. He just said flats or clipless. And that's such a... Wait, hold on. Please forgive me. That's such a great, typical answer once we get a question. It's like, for what purpose? And Sam said right off the hop, for what? So what is it? His name is Elko. Elko asks, flats or clipless? Hey, man, for what? For learning how to bunny hop?
I think for sprinting, for guys that are training for sprints, flats are priceless. I think they're great. They can iron out a lot of problems. I'm not a fan of doing, I think when you're on the track, I just think ride with what you're going to race with and work on that. Because there's an art to, I believe there's an art to racing at full speed. And so I don't feel like you ever want to slow that down too much. So
yeah, I agree.
I'm not a fan of, doing track efforts with flats or gates with flats, really.
Yeah. Unless you're Corbin Sherraw and you can get away with it.
Well, yeah, he rides the same on both. So,
I found, because I've raced, I was lucky enough, were you lucky enough to race on flat pedals?
Yeah, I raced on flats until I was probably 9.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. So you have good calibration on flats, and I always found that flat pedals are, they position my body differently on the bike as opposed to clips. With clips, I'm a little bit higher on the bike, so the center of gravity is different. With flats, you're a little bit lower, and you're a little bit more on the arch of your feet. You can't really pedal so much on the ball of your feet, so the mechanics and everything's differently as well.
It can change a lot of stuff if you're not. And that's what you got to be wary of, even with sprinting with them, that you are trying to keep the same mechanics, like you said, stay on the ball of your feet and still create the same, finish the pedal stroke and all those things that you want to do on your clip pedals. Don't adapt to the flat pedal to be better on the flat pedal if your ultimate goal is to be good on clip pedal.
Yeah, I agree.
That makes sense.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, you're trying to program a high rate of speed of discharge. What does that mean? On flat pedals, you're just not able to pedal as fast because you don't have, you have to use more stability muscles on flat pedals, and on clipless pedals, you don't have to worry about keeping your foot on, so you can just focus on just pure rate of speed of discharge. If you were to train on flats, you're basically reprogramming the neurology.
Right.
All right, let's go to the next question. Sam, you are big, man. Yes, he is. He is a full-size human being, and every time I go to the phone to check questions, someone asked, food for race day.
Food for race day. Carbohydrates, and on race day it was just getting sugars and carbs and stay energized for me. So simple sugars, fruits were great always. What else was there? Just things that were easy to digest, like bars. And,
I was going to ask because have you ever felt nervous on race day and you had a hard time eating?
No, I never had a issue. I was nervous on race day plenty of times, but it never affected me eating. So I was always an eater when I was racing. So it was.
Dude, you were eating to win.
Yeah.
And you were hungry, so you were eating.
So it was just you
were hungry to win.
Just ate simple foods, so fruits and bread and a bit of honey and
Bread and a bit of honey.
Yeah, that was it, really.
That was my kit. Bread, peanut butter, and honey. And then it took me 40 years to figure out that I'm actually allergic to peanut butter.
Right. Americans love peanut butter.
It's so cheap.
It's on everything.
It's on everything, and it's good for, like, you know, medical companies because it develops a bunch of, well, health issues, right? So, Sebastian Morales asked, hey there, guys, I'm curious as to what's your take on the belt drive system. Have you had any experience with the belt drive?
Just that I know it's out there, but it's, yeah.
None of your athletes are ready to jump over from chain to belt?
Yeah, we don't get involved in scams. Not that it's here's the thing, I don't think, it's definitely not better. I haven't seen anything to say it's better.
Right.
In my opinion.
You're not stunningly convinced.
Yeah. My question is with it, that, you know, the argument is always that, there's constant tension on it, right?
Yeah.
So my question is that in the mechanics of a gate start, you come off the gate and it actually, you want it to release tension, right? To then have the ability to push against something. If you're pulling off the gate and there's constant tension there, that it's not gonna, that's gonna hinder you, in my opinion.
Right, it's gonna reduce the snap.
Reduce it, yeah.
Got it. Great question, though. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. We're here for you guys. It's all about you guys today. Right? Isn't that right?
That's right.
What's it like going from, I knew what it was like for me going from pro racing career transition and helping people. What is that like for you?
Well, I mean, obviously my transition was a little more abrupt. It wasn't really planned for.
Yeah.
But it was something that I seen myself going into regardless. I was always sort of took a lot of control of my own preparation and that kind of thing. So
yeah.
I enjoy it. I was always a student of the game. You know, I was constantly looking at things, analyzing, and sometimes to a detriment. So the transition's been easy, honestly. I enjoy it, and for me, there's no other option. So it hasn't been that hard in that. I mean, it could be. I can see that it still could be, but I achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I'm at peace with being done with racing myself. Yeah. Obviously, I would have liked to have ended on my own terms, but if I could, like I've said a million times, if I could wake up tomorrow and be 100% normal, I wouldn't race. I love going to races, I love watching races, I love helping other people, but my time was done. So.
That's great. So you've been able to reframe this whole thing in a positive way that, from what I've seen from your body language, that you're giving back and you're thriving off of that.
Yeah, I think, and as well, I think I'm passionate about it. It's not just like it's
something you have to do.
It's not just a charity thing. Like I feel I have to give back. You know, I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
The people I'm helping, I really care about, and they've been there for me and in other things. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's great. Pedals level or outside down?
Outside down.
Thanks for your answer, guys. Sam, you're a legend. Happy late birthday.
Thank you.
To the GOAT.
Thank you.
I agree. Sam is the GOAT. He's right up there. He's you know, Sam has some interesting stats, like in terms of like USA BMX or ABA, depending on, you know, when you were born, and ABA decided to go non-profit with a USABMX.com change. I think it was a .org, but now they came back to .com. Anyways, it's all confusing. Irregardless, Sam has the highest winning percentage of mains made to pro wins, and I think that is super impressive. It's like what's the percent? Is it like 70%?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
It's up there. It's like for every 10 mains that he had made as a pro, he won 7 of them. 7 out of 10. I mean, that's freaking awesome. It's incredible. Any other questions, guys? We're here for you guys. We're here. We have about 10 minutes or so, and then we're gonna go get something to eat. We've been here working, editing some video for Sam, shooting the shit, catching up on life, and we wanted to pay it back to you guys and see how you guys are doing. So it's all about you. Make sure you guys ask us questions. Otherwise, we're just gonna ramble. What do we want to eat today? Well, what's a normal day for you these days?
Normal day for me? I mean, every day is a little different. I go to training with the guys most mornings, so get up around 7, breakfast, coffee. Coffee's a big part of the morning.
Coffee is a big component.
Anthony at the house now, so I'm making coffee for everyone. And And then we jump in the car, head to training. I spend a couple of hours with them, then I generally rush back to the house and do my own therapy.
Yeah.
And then it's lunch, and then either back to training or I go to the gym myself, and in between there sometimes edit some video of the guys or upload. And
editing video.
Do some, nothing, no cool edits, just more so timing them and doing that kind of stuff, more performance based. But I definitely keep busy. So.
Wow, yeah, you sound busy. We have a question from Sam Wass. Do you manage to sleep before a race, and do you find it hard to face if you haven't?
Man, I've had some of my best races. I didn't sleep a wink, and not that I condone it. I just couldn't sleep at times, and I worked on it, but I had coping strategies with it. Like I just got to a point where I was like, okay, I know that these 2-day races with USA BMX, I'm all hyped up all day long. You finish at 7 p.m. You go eat. Where the day, if it was a good day, you're on a high still, and then you try to just put your head on the pillow and go to sleep. It's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
So,
but it's also easy to wake up and hit practices because it's like, well, I already have a victory under my belt. Yeah. Everything else is gravy.
Yeah, but it wasn't for me.
No, you were hungry.
Yeah, it had to be a double. So
it had to be a double.
For me, I just come up with coping mechanisms. I'd write in my diary, or I would put a podcast on or something just to distract my mind. And if it wasn't sleep, the next best thing was not thinking about tomorrow's race and trying to at least be in a calm state and getting some form of rest. It varied for me. There was times when I got great sleep and performed. There was times when I got bad sleep and performed, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
I remember a long time ago. I remember when Steve Veltman was up for the ABA #1 pro title back in 1993, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I don't care if I don't get any sleep, because when I wake up tomorrow, I'm pulling.
Yeah.
He made a decision that he's pulling regardless if he gets sleep or not, and which I really like. And there's something else that I really liked about you not thinking about the race day the following day while in bed. I think it's really important for athletes to stay in the moment. Just be here now. What time is it? Oh, it's now. The race isn't until tomorrow. So I know for me, it's easier for me to deal with it when it's time to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something to be said for that. Yeah. It's kind of like sitting at the top of the Supercross starting hill, if any of you guys have done that, and you're like, okay, you're on the gate and you see that jump down there, it's a 40-foot gap, and all you're thinking about is that gap while you're on the gate. It's like you still have to get a good gate, hit the transition right, make sure you coast at the bottom. And what I tell newbies is deal with that jump when you get there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate that question here. Any other questions? Oh, we got more. Looks like we have quite a few now.
Okay.
We'll try to knock these guys out and make them quick. Sonia Ross, what are the best cross-training exercises for an 11-year-old expert?
I'm a fan of, I think plyometrics is something that translates really well to BMX, and something as simple as, find a flight of stairs and jump up them. Yeah. And run up them, jump up them, bound up them. That was something that, I did as a kid a lot. Mum took us down to the beach, and there was a flight of stairs that went from the sand up to the top of the cliff, and we just ran and jumped and did all those.
Just cross-training. Yeah, exactly. Working hard. It's going to work on the BMX track, right? Because at the end of the day, you're like, if you're working hard, mentally you're thinking, I'm working hard, so when you get on the bike, it's like, well, I deserve it because I'm working hard, and I'm fit because I've been working hard.
Yeah, no, it's a part of it.
It all works.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next question. I like that one. Inspirational both on and off the track. That's a comment. Thank you so much. James Christie says, Joshua Fullington says, I get to ride best number ever now, 91.
Very good.
Jason Chang, what happened to the cafe show?
Just haven't been able to fit it in this year yet.
He's got a busy schedule.
Maybe.
I agree. Ricky Graves asked, what's the best advice I can give as a dad to my 5- and 7-year-old boys on their BMX journey?
Best advice. I think the best advice is
ran out of water.
I think if racing is what they want to do, learn to enjoy racing. So race as much as you can, and find a way to enjoy that. Enjoy the process of enjoy the process of losing, and enjoy the process of winning by racing more. But I think I don't know. At that age, they should love it enough that there shouldn't need to be too much advice other than just, being there supporting them and as in being their wheels to get to the track and giving them the opportunity to do it more and more.
Yeah, that's great.
But hopefully the motivation's there from them anyway.
I think as 5 and 7-year-old, if I recall, when I was riding my bike, I was always in the present moment for the most part, just enjoying riding the bike around the neighborhood and jumping and learning things. As far as like bunny hopping and jumping off curbs and learning things the hard way by making mistakes, even while I'm riding my bike in the street with friends. So just my advice is just keep riding the bike, whether you're at the track or at home, keep working on bunny hopping and jumping and have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Bill Big Rig Davis, same question as David, but for a 12 to 13-year-old.
I think it's the same thing. It comes back to, depends what they're struggling with, what their issue is as far. But I mean, other than supporting them and getting them to the track as much as they can, and just being their soundboard at times, and understanding that it's not always going to be sunshine and roses, but that's okay. Roll with the punches and enjoy the ride.
I agree. And I'll come in a little bit more because I do have a lot of experience working with 12-year-olds, and just like yourself, I remember making that transition from 12 to 13, where you have to go from 1.125 inch and 3/8 wheels to 20-inch wheels. Such a tough transition, especially when you're going through puberty and making that transition to lift weights. I would definitely look into at least start doing a lot of body weight exercises. Specifically ones that you will do in the gym, and work on the flexibility, work on the range of motion, work on the mechanics of all your key lifts as body weight exercises. That way when it's time to get strong, everything's already configured, ready to go, and you can just start loading weight on there. What was your transition like going from 1.125 to 20-inch wheels? I know for me it was so hard. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that now that you bring it up, that age, but
it's tough, ain't it?
It was tough, yeah, it was different, but for me it was just when I was on the 1.125 it was always a 41.15, I think. Mum and Dad wouldn't let us change gears. It was just, that's what you ride, and you just learn to pedal it faster.
For what purpose? That's just it? Like they don't feel like messing with the bike, or
they just didn't want the bike to be the excuse. They wanted us to learn to dig a bit deeper within ourselves and figure it out for ourselves a bit, because there's generally, at that age, there's generally plenty more issues than a crank length or a gear ratio. So that was always the thing. And then I went to the big tires, and I remember Dad asked someone, well, what gear do we run now? And they said, well, the bikes get sold to a 44.16, so that's what he put on, and I ran that gear until 2014. It was the first time I changed that gear.
So how many years did you run that gear for? What year was that?
That would have been 2004, so...
10 years?
Yeah.
10 years you ran 44.16. Kept it simple. Didn't want to give the equipment a reason to excuse himself for his performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, that is so awesome.
And then in 2014...
That is so awesome.
Then in 2014 I went But I mean, by that point I was established and understood everything a bit more, and then I started messing around with some of those things. But when you
say please forgive me, when you say everything a bit more, what do you mean? Like the other components of preparation, racing, training, mentals, execution. Just
understanding, what a gear change was going to do, and actually having more purpose behind it as far as the physicality and a little more data into it as to why I'm changing something other than just like, oh, this feels good, this doesn't feel good.
Right.
So
whereas you could make a change in your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah. You just pedal harder, like your dad said.
Yeah.
Dude, just pedal harder.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, the sport changed as well. I mean, then all of a sudden we're on supercross tracks, and
I agree.
So things changed, but drastically changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got caught up. My father got me caught up in changing gears. I remember one time he changed the gear. He changed, I don't know, he made it to where it was like 3 teeth too easier, and I was just way off the back. And I remember crying in the stands to him. I was like, Dad, I couldn't pedal, the gear's way too easy. And I had a legit excuse. I don't know what he did, but he was changing my gear, looking at a chart and just being a total gear chart dad. And it's just like, dude, I agree. Just put one gear on and just pedal and go for it, right? So. Jason Chang, great question for you. What's harder, chasing the title or defending it?
Defending it. For
Yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
Why?
It's easy to get there. It's hard to stay there.
Yeah?
I think chase. I think it's like any. I think.
Was it more of an internal battle with yourself? Was it internal pressure or outside pressure to defend it?
Yeah, it's just there's a target on your back when you're defending it. So it definitely becomes. I would say more. For me, it was more internal pressure of just. It's once you have something, you're expected to. As crazy as it sounds, I know personally, I built this persona that I was expected to do it again. You've got it on your back.
Within your mind.
It's yours to lose.
Yeah, that's what you would tell yourself.
Yeah.
Although you didn't project out externally, I felt that. I was able to read body language. Like, dude, Sam's the guy to beat. He wants it more than anybody. I recognize that. So that's crazy, man. Whatever you're thinking, despite the fact you're not saying it,
right? Yeah,
you could still feel it.
Yeah.
You're still projecting it.
Yeah, it was definitely. I found chasing easy. Like, it was just that.
Nothing to lose.
If there was times, my career was, I won the Worlds in 2012. Went there in 2013, did terrible, and then it was like the next year was easy to get it back.
Got it.
In many ways, like the preparation was easy, the mentality was easy, but then 2015 it was like, we're back here again, and now we've got to try to. It's mine to lose again. Like, I always found that harder.
Defending is hard. I have some questions for you.
Yep.
So, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now.
Such a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough question, but I would love to have, Elise and I would like to have kids, and so that's a big goal of ours, and I think probably within 5 years would be a reasonable time frame. I would see myself potentially being back in Australia even. We've talked about that.
It's nice down there. Adelaide, where you grew up?
Yeah. So
South Australia.
Yeah.
It's beautiful down there. It's just like being in Southern California.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice place to live, and my brother's got a little boy now, so I'd like to be around him, and so I could see that, and man, as far as work and all those things, I don't know. I've kind of given myself a bit of a 2-year window here where I want to do this whole Olympic thing again with these guys and
go deep into the coaching.
Yeah, and then after that we'll reset.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's see if we got another question here. We got another comment. Hi, Sam from the Douglas family in New Zealand. Bloody legend, mate.
Thank you, Douglas family. Let's do it.
Okay, we'll take one more question, then we're out. We love questions. We love engagement here. How did you get motivation when you were not in the mood to exercising? This is from Marion.
I was fortunate in that that was the part that I really enjoyed about my job. Well, in the end, my job was that the training, the preparation. I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really ever I didn't have too many days where I lacked motivation. And generally, if I did, it was a great sign for me that I was probably overcooked it and was fatigued. So those were the days I gave myself permission to step back and go get a coffee or do something different. But I really never the preparation. It was easy. That I liked that part of it.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
And I feel like that's what's helped me even with dealing with my injury is that I always had a good understanding and perspective of that. The preparation was no matter I could do it as good and as to the best of my ability, but there was always still a chance that it wasn't going to work out, and I was okay with that. I was fine with that. And I think that's helped me through my injury in that I can do all this rehab, I can do all this hoping and dreaming and want things to be better.
Yeah.
But I've got to be okay with knowing that it still might not. And I can do that. I have the ability, I feel, to do that. So.
Well, you know what? It seems like every time I speak to you, we always have great in-depth and sometimes esoteric conversations, but it seems like we're able to kind of connect, and from that connection, I've noticed that you're in the present moment.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, because you have to be, because, and I think I've as a coach, I'm always reading. I'm always reading athletes, just watching people, just observing, and it's tough for any athlete to be in the present moment, isn't it? You know, because when you start thinking too far ahead or too far behind, that could potentially mess with your motivation as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You know, so like if you're thinking about an end result and you're not going to do well, then it's hard to be motivated to not do well. But if you could see yourself doing well, and you have this goal of doing well, then that's where motivation can really truly come from, and that's where it should come from.
Yeah, and I think also just learning to find enjoyment in the day-to-day process, and actually having a structured plan, and actually having a vision of where you're going, and then learning to enjoy. You know, some of my best memories were the thrill of the journey.
Yeah.
It's like I think back to the preparation before the Holland Worlds. Yes, I won the Worlds, and that's a great outcome, but.
Oh, here comes Sam. He's looking on the inside. Oh, Carter shut it down. Oh, here we go. Sam Willoughby, 2 gold medals this weekend. Won the top shot, won that tonight. Yeah, unbelievable. It means a lot to him.
I think more about the memories of the training, you know, of our little group, and every day at the sprint spot, and you know, even the tough times, you
shooting
know,
the shit,
throwing the bike and whatever else. But it was like the journey had so much character to it that they're the fondest memories that I have of it.
Just enjoying each day of training, enjoying the present moment every day.
Yeah. And now in hindsight, you know, that's what I tell people that, you know, are struggling or that aren't motivated anymore. It's like even if you were to keep going right now and achieve something, you probably wouldn't even enjoy it that much because you're not enjoying what you're doing anyway. Yeah. So it's like you gotta find joy in the process. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, I love it, man. This guy's got so much knowledge and wisdom. Guys, so grateful for you guys to tune in and ask us questions and have Sam. Sam, I'm so grateful for you to get on BMX Training Live here, and thank you so much for joining us on BMX Training, and we're out.
Thank you.
All right, man.